image or image one or something? I don't know.
Yeah. That's a great question. So like in this sense, we're in one broad stroke, like let's say we have multiple images on this page.
Mhm.
In one broad stroke, we're giving them all the width and height of that many pixels. But like if we wanted to get more specific and we wanted to drill down on specific images on the page, that's where we could start to use like classes, you know. So we
Okay.
could have like a class
Like,
for the, you know, .img -1, and then so like that, and then like on the page here, like if I was to like have like a div.
yeah, you just mentioned, you know,
image.
I just mentioned image one. Yeah, I get it.
Okay. Just anybody's following. Just for the flesh it out. So like this image would have this, you know.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
Thanks.
All right, one more question comes in my mind. Like, if you have a style mentioned in the head, and then in down you use the same element, but you use a class.
Oh, say that one more time.
Like, if you have a style mentioned in the head of an HTML file,
okay,
and you want to access the style from CSS file, and you mention it there, which one will override?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not sure if anybody wants to try answering that in chat. But so yeah, so like if you have styles inline, so like there's a style attribute, right? So like if you had style and I gave this like a display of like flex, for example, let's just say, like, you don't have to know what display flex is right now, but, and then inside the style sheet, there was a rule for an li element or class dot list dash item for display inline block. The display flex, because it's inline on 16 in the HTML file, it would override the what's in the that rule in the CSS file. If you were to put it up here, like in a style tag, because it comes after the CSS sheet, the rule, because of that cascading, that idea, that concept of starting the rules applied at the top and then whatever's at the bottom overrides the rules at the top. If they're like the same selector, for example, then line 8, whatever's inside of line 8 would override whatever came in from the style sheet. Because whatever came in from the style sheet is going to be loaded above what's being loaded inside of the style element. So Z index, I think that might have to do with like CSS positioning. I don't know if it'll necessarily override it, but it'll like overlap it. Like it'll look like it's like one on top of each other. A lot of great questions. Let's see.
And I can ask one more question.
Yeah, please. Yeah, go ahead.
So you see, like in development, if we access two classes and both have color in them, which one will override? Well, like which one will the browser take?
Say it one more time, because I was just typing.
So if we, for example, in development, or let's take P element, and we access two classes, and both classes, they have a color in it.
So like, right. So like you have this class's paragraph, and then like you also have like paragraph.
Yes, and these both paragraph and paragraph 1 have color in it.
And they're both like coloring. See, I don't have this actually memorized, but this is actually a good, it's a good test. So like test that out and let us know what happens. I would think maybe this one, this paragraph -1, because it's the second one, it's the last one, and that would get applied. But that would be something I would definitely want to like test out.
So will the coder take like, oh, I get it. So the second one will override. You know what? I'll check it out and I'll post in Slack. It's just,
okay,
just
cool.
in my mind. I'm just
That would be awesome. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, let me wrap it up because we only have about 6 more minutes. But somebody did ask about commenting out. So like on a Mac, like, and this applies to HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So the keyboard command is, so like if you want to like, let's say like, I'm just going to highlight this block of text and I wanted to comment it out. On a Mac, I hold command and it's the key with the question mark on it. It's also the /. So it's actually like the /, right? Because I have to press shift for the question mark. So that's the command to comment. If I want to uncomment, it's like that. It's very handy. So if you learned anything today, come away with that. The other thing is these keyboard shortcuts. Like I posted it just now. Let me put it back up. So this is going to help you kind of just get around your file, right? So like here I'm at the bottom, and I'm pretty sure if I used up key and command, it jumps me up to the top so you can see my cursor's on line 1. If I hold command and I push down, it puts me all the way at the end of the file on line 29. If I hold shift and I push the left arrow key, it lets me highlight. If I hold shift, option, and the left key, it lets me like highlight sections of the word. And then if I push up, it lets me, well, copy. If I just hold option, so let me actually undo, which is command Z, because I had that highlighted. But actually, if I want to move that HTML tag, if I want to move it up, I'm holding option and I'm pushing up and down. If I want to get to the end of a line, so like I'll hold command and the right key. If I want to get to back to the beginning, I'll hold command and the left key. So these are just like keyboard commands that like once you get the hang of a few of them, you just be a lot faster, like, you know, moving around and like, say I want to like cut this and paste here, which you really wouldn't want to do, but if you ever wanted to do so. So those should help. In the VS Code menu bar, look at the section tab. VS Code menu. Oh, selection, or is it section?
You've got yours hidden.
Oh, what's that?
Yours is hidden.
Oh, mine's. Oh, yeah, I must say. Oh, what? So what's there? So let us know.
Can I show you mine?
Oh yeah. You want to share your screen?
Can I share it now?
Yeah, let me make sure you can share.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, so can you see mine? So if you go there.
Not yet. Go ahead.
Can you see it now? Oh, there it is.
Okay, cool.
So let me just.
Wow, nice. You're cruising along here.
Can you see mine?
Yeah, we can see it.
Oh, I can't see it. Hang on, I gotta move this a minute.
So this is the part of the fun of these sessions is that, you know, we come together as a group and we learn, we do different activities, we ask questions, you know.
So on this bit here, you can see
okay.
it. You got copy line, move up, move down.
Oh yeah, yours says selection. Okay. Move up.
Yes. So you've got,
great. It got all the keyboard commands right there. Okay.
Yeah. So that's
what you're pointing out. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you could just learn them shortcuts. That's how I do it on mine.
Very cool. Yeah. That's
so
awesome.
Like, how do I stop sharing now?
Yeah, thanks for sharing. It should be at the bottom when you hover over the screen. It should there should be, or maybe at the top of the screen if you hover over, it should say stop sharing. Okay, I can stop it. Stop participation.
Oh, there you go. There you are.
Cool. Yeah, so like, yeah, no problem. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Anybody can share the screen. If you're having technical difficulty, you can share. We can help each other out. So think of this as like a workshop. Like I know a lot of us have probably already been to college. Maybe some of us haven't. That's okay. But even we've all kind of been in the classroom before, and it's not so traditional where like I'm talking down to you or at you about stuff. It's more like we come together and like trial and error and kind of work out the code and kind of see what's working, what's not, you know, and that ability to kind of work with other people and, you know, kind of that hive mind kind of move along as groups. So, okay, so let me see. So I think we did good today with this. I mean, basically, we just wanted to like hook up an HTML file, let's see, to a CSS file. We wanted to get some practice with writing classes with different rules like width and height. And then you know, just try out different specificity, which there was a really good question about the 2 classes in the paragraph tag. So curious to know what the result is for that. So lesson summary, you know, we're coding CSS. And for questions, I have, let me find it. So I'm going to give a few things out now. So here's a Slido that you can kind of like quiz yourself on today. If you didn't do so good on the first one, maybe it'll be a little bit better. And then 2 screens. Somebody has 3 screens. Yeah, I've got 2 going, but could always use more. So let me go back to the presentation. And then the last thing is this, I think you did this at the end of the HTML the other day, so we want to get all of your questions. So this is this Menti link, and you can, you know, any question, right? It's anonymous, so like, don't feel afraid. I mean, but you shouldn't anyways. Ask any questions. The most curious, the most beginner, the most advanced, any question, it's all good. And I'll follow up with everybody in that Slack channel. And yeah, I appreciate everybody being here. Thanks for being here. I think you're gonna have a great time in this program. You know, let us know what questions you have, anything you want us to improve or do better. You know, happy to hear you out. And yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks, Patricia. Thanks, everybody. Okay, I'll go ahead and stop this, and you will get a recording. It'll be in the student guide, that Notion page, so it'll be listed there, so you'll be able to go back. So very cool.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Did somebody raise their hand and have a question real quick? I think that was Olam.
Yes, my question is that, is it compulsory that when we have an image on our HTML file, does we need to use a div? Do we need to put the image inside a div? Does that
put the image inside a div?
Yes.
So when you think about divs, div is short for the word divisions, and the concept there is that you're dividing up the content or the HTML into logical groupings. And so oftentimes you'll see, like in websites out there, and maybe I'll try to find a few good examples, where they're using the div to group like the image content. And then they'll have maybe another div to like group the image along with maybe like a set of links that go below it. So whenever the general rule I like to go by is like a div is just going to help you to further divide up your content, to give it order, and to allow you to like better manipulate it when it comes to CSS, to better style it, you know. Does that answer your question? Okay. I'm not sure if those kind of like yes or no questions, a lot of the stuff you have to test it out, like if it works kind of questions, like will this work or will that work. I default to